My name is Amanda Fowler, and today I'll be reciting a poem by poet Amanda Gorman. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find the light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and the nations of what just isn't always justice. And yet, the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken but simply unfinished. We the successors of a country in a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming a president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a nation that is perfect. We're striving to form a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. So we lift our gaze, not to what stands between us, but to what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so that we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to no one and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this: that even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again saw a division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we live up to our own time, the victory won't lie in the blade, but it will in all the bridges we've made. The end promise to glade the hill we climb, if only we dare. It's because America is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy, and this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust. For now, we have our eyes on the future. History has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. No. History has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared its inception. We did not feel prepared to be heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we found ourselves the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe, now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around and interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction. And in inertia will be the inheritance of our. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of our next generation. Become the future. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge the mercy of might and might with right, then love becomes a legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we left. Every breath from my bronze-bound pounded chest will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the golden hills of the west. We will rise from the windswept northeast with our forefathers' first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild and reconcile and recover. every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shadow. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn balloons as we free it. For there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it.